shirt, no rest for the real. Still spine straight, I'm a soldier, no chill. Snakes in the grass, they creep and conceal. 20/30 vision, better sharpen your steel. We won't stop, I won't quit. Stand for the truth, no counterfeit. Real ones rise, let the fake ones split. Repent for the lies, let the darkness live. Echoes in the swamp, whispers in the wind. Legacy to build, can't let the devil win. Cash rules the weak, but my soul don't bend. 20/30 knocking, better cleanse that sin. They want us to sleep, but the light stays on. Fake smiles, fake friends, all of them gone. Cages of comfort, we breaking out strong. Roots in the south, but the fight's lifelong. We won't stop, I won't quit. Stand for the truth, no counterfeit. Real ones rise, let the fake ones split. Repent for the lies, let the darkness live. Prepare for the storm, skies turning gray. The wolves in the suit got dues to pay. From the ashes we climb, no time to delay. The real ones prepare for the judgment day. Yeah.
We were just talking about with David. I hear you have more information on that video we played of Senator Padilla at this Kristi Noem event. There's reporting now that he was in fact arrested outside the room.
It appears that he was arrested outside the room, Christina. I am now in possession of video that was taken from a different angle of this same incident. The video you showed earlier shows Senator Padilla being escorted out of the room and quickly ends thereafter. The video that I have seen shows that what happens when he goes into that hallway, he is further pushed into the hallway by somebody wearing an FBI shirt. He is then pushed onto the ground and placed under arrest with his hands behind his back as he is face down on the floor by 3 additional officers. Obviously, we don't have full information about the altercation that led him to be pushed out of the room by personnel either from the Department of Homeland Security or the FBI. But this is yet another escalation between the Department of Homeland Security and those agents working at their disposal and lawmakers. Obviously, LaMonica McIver, a congresswoman from New Jersey, has now been indicted on 3 federal charges for which she could face up to 18 years in prison in an altercation that started not dissimilarly from this. You know, one of the things I was looking for is whether or not Senator Padilla himself put his hands back on those who were involved in that altercation with him, as LaMonica McIver is alleged to have done. And you can see from the video you're showing right now somewhat that Senator Padilla is pushing back or has his hands on the officer. From the video that I have seen, it's much clearer. At some point, he then stops resisting, puts his hands up, and nonetheless, they push him down the hallway, put him face down, his hands behind his back. He's arrested. I don't know yet what has going to come of this and where Senator Padilla has been taken. But this is a big escalation of what has been happening in California. Senator Padilla, as David was mentioning earlier, is a son of California. He grew up in Pacoima and Los Angeles' San Fernando Valley, where I'm also from. Pacoima is a heavily Latino community. Senator Padilla, born to immigrants. He himself is the pride of much of the Latino community in the Los Angeles area. To see him manhandled in this way, like a common everyday protester, is going to be particularly jarring for many who are watching from California.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm not jarred, right? I'm not jarred. Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's your man Wise. I know you guys are wondering, like, what? We back? Yeah, we had the morning show that actually went into the afternoon. Shout out to Dave. But I had this and I wanted to talk about this and I was going to do this and I wasn't for sure if I should do it and then interview Dave or if I should just do it as a separate, as a separate live stream. And I just decided to do it as a separate live stream. I am going to play golf today. So I wanted to get in here and knock this out, man. But we got to talk about this, man. We have to talk about it. And for those of you guys that missed the early morning or missed the live stream this morning, man, you missed a good one. Go check the replay. Shout out to you, Eric Smith. I know you rolled out, but yeah, we live again. Appreciate you though, man. Always appreciate you, brother. We got to talk about it, man. We've got to talk about it because the Democrats are crashing out big time right now. Crashing out big time, man. You can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. They are on full display, crashing out for everybody to see. We got a lot to get into today. I know you guys, y'all seen the special guest, Dave. Go check him out. Phenomenal. I thought that was a really, really good conversation. It did get a little weird towards the end, but hey, it is what it is. That's kind of what happens. Especially when you start doing call-ins and things of that nature, it can sometimes turn the conversation in a direction that we didn't really want the conversation turn. But nonetheless, let's talk about it. We got to talk about the madness unfolding across the country. And before we really get started, I want to make sure that I tell everybody, yes, please stay safe this weekend. Let's make sure we keep our law enforcement officers lifted up in prayer. Let's make sure that we keep, our National Guardsmen, our service members lifted up in prayer. But even the people that are going to be out there protesting, they have the First Amendment right to freedom of assembly. They can do that. But let's keep it peaceful. You know what I'm saying? And let's just make sure that we pray that people stay safe, that no one is harmed. And yeah, we'll give them the ability to, get their point across, but let's just keep it civil and let's just keep it peaceful. But we have to talk about this. We have to. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that like button for me as well. Hit that like button for me. These so-called protests, they have turned into full-blown riots, and it's not slowing down. You've seen the chaos. You guys have seen it. Chicago, New York, Atlanta, Los Angeles, all lit up like a bonfire. And it's not stopping. Reports say that there's more planned for the weekend. That's why we're saying be safe. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to go out there, don't go out there to participate. If you want to go out there to, just document, take footage, things of that nature, don't jump in trying to be Captain Save them. Let the police, let National Guard, let them do their job. Don't you jump out there and doing that. Don't you jump out there. All right. But there are reports that says that there are more planned events or protests, riots, whatever you want to call them, for the weekend. You have organizers calling for massive resistance against Trump's deportations. Massive resistance. More like massive destruction. They're gearing up to hit D.C. hard. And not only D.C., they're planning mass protests across over 1,000 American cities, coinciding with the Army's 250th birthday parade and Trump's birthday. So think about this. You got President Trump's birthday, and more importantly, no disrespect to President Trump, but it's the 250th birthday of the United States Army. That's huge. That is huge. And in the meantime, in the midst of all of this, Democrats are acting a plumb fool right now. I mean, they're really acting up. So Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, she held a news conference in Los Angeles yesterday. She was talking about the immigration raids. Everything was going smooth until Senator Padilla from California stormed into the press conference demanding to ask questions. And when security moved in, he resisted. Hey, it was a true mess around and find out type situation. A lot of these people in Congress, the representatives, the senators, they actually think that they are above the law. They do. They think that they are better than just regular citizens. They do.
Senator Alex Padilla, I have questions for the secretary, because the fact of the matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your heads off.
How many of our ICE agents have been doxxed for doing their duty, how they have been targeted.
Yeah, so here's what happened. Here's what happened, as you've seen in the video. While DHS was holding a press conference in LA, updating the public on recent ICE operations, Senator Padilla decided to take it upon himself to storm the stage uninvited, unannounced, and clearly looking for attention. That's really what this was about. He was looking for attention. What's going on, RJ Hudson? How you doing this afternoon, brother? Appreciate you pulling up. He was looking for attention. This dude went in there, he interrupted the event, demanded answers from the Secretary, Kristi Noem, on the spot, and refused to back down. And the agents on duty, they didn't know who he was initially. And frankly, it shouldn't matter who he is. When you rush towards a federal office or a federal official at a high security event, especially when you know everything that is going down, you should be treated like a potential threat. You should be. And that's exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened. They restrained him, they handcuffed him, and he was escorted out. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is what you would call protocol. That's how law and order works. But let's rewind a bit. Over the past few days, officers have been assaulted, literally pelted with bricks, cinder blocks, rocks, bottles. We've seen vehicles set on fire, Molotov cocktail hurled at them, and hammers and fists thrown their way. Spit. Some people, think about this, man. We're talking spit. Some people were spit on. That's like one of the worst things that you could do to someone is spit on them. I mean, these folks are out here, antagonizing the police, antagonizing ICE agents, antagonizing, National Guards members, verbally harassing, them just for wearing the uniform. Let that sink in for a second. They are literally verbally harassing people for rocking a uniform. These are the same men and women who put their lives on the line to keep the peace. And they're being attacked by mobs while Democrats look the other way, or worse, actively stir the pot. But despite the chaos, the Department of Homeland Security, they're not backing down. Federal agents, military personnel, ICE officers, they've made it clear. They're here to restore law and order. And they're not going anywhere. Excuse me. Excuse me. And they're not just dealing with rioters. They're also dealing with political agitators, elected officials, who are using this moment not to help their constituents, but to gain clout. Case in point, Senator Alex Padilla from California. I mean, this guy pulled one of the most blatant political stunts that we've seen in quite some time. And now the media is scrambling to paint him as some kind of hero with MSDNC losing their minds over it, calling it an assault on democracy. I'm really, really sick and tired of these daggone Democrats and their media puppets or media shills. I'm really tired of these people. However, and quite surprisingly, not all media is crying wolf. Not all of them. The guy was in the wrong when even CNN put him on blast. When CNN calls you out, you're wrong. Check this right here out, man.
That way.
We just received a statement from the office of Senator Padilla, and they say that he's currently in Los Angeles exercising his duty to perform congressional oversight of the federal government's operations in Los Angeles across California. It goes on to say that he tried to ask the secretary a question and was forcibly removed by federal agents, forced to the ground and handcuffed. He is not currently detained, and we are working to get additional information. David, over and over, we've heard from voters in different parts of the country talking about how they want to see Democrats confront the administration on some of these issues like immigration. I mean, it gets handsy, but Padilla was trying to make a statement there.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, she was holding a press conference and doing a press statement. He's not a member of the press. It wasn't like a hearing where it was an open forum for senators to ask a question. He clearly showed up to a public event to create a moment and do what you're saying, sort of show his constituents, not just Democrats, but that he's fighting from his perspective. Again, I think the question is, was this the appropriate response of how it got dealt with in that moment and how that plays? To your point, though, I mean, what we're seeing politically is a very divided country over the support and opposition. It's almost evenly divided in a Washington Post poll today over the president's actions and policies here, both over the president putting in the Guard and the Marines there, right? But also we see an evenly divided country over support and opposition to the protests to ICE's action.
You might also, in a situation like this, say, what kind of moment was the senator looking for? But I also would note, and I'm curious just if you can speak to kind of the norms of things. Normally, you have a situation where there's more interaction, even between members of Congress who maybe don't see eye to eye with the White House. They are a little able, at least, to have some kind of interactions. There really are no avenues, I think, for members of Congress to get the ear of someone at the White House if they're not seen as very in line with President Trump.
I mean, I think it depends on the issue and the personnel, right, that find access points to certain things. But
yeah, you know you messed up when even CNN's calling your tactics out. You know it's messed up. Now, this particular senator, first time I've ever even heard of the guy. So, I mean, if his goal was to get his name out there, hey, I think he succeeded. If his goal was, to have people talking about him, all across the country, he probably succeeded. If that was his goal. You know you messed up when even CNN is calling you out for your, blatant tactics, your blatant need for attention. Because, I mean, this is all it was, man. It was an attention grab. That's it. He wasn't there to have a discussion. He wasn't even there to ask a question. He was just there for the optics. Padilla claimed that he was just doing his job. Come on now, just asking questions. If he really wanted to link up with Kristi Noem, there's a better way to go about doing that. Seriously, there's a better way to go about doing that. Seriously. I mean, since when does your job involve barging into someone else's press conference and refusing to leave? I mean, this wasn't oversight, man. This was performance. This was it was just performative. That's really what it was. But he thinks that we're stupid. You know what I'm saying? He thinks we're stupid, like we can't see through it.
Alex Padilla, you guys have some questions. I'm going to read a brief statement. I will not be taking questions, but allow me to read my statement. I'm here in Los Angeles today, and I was here in the federal building, in the conference room, awaiting a scheduled briefing from federal officials as part of my responsibility as a senator to provide oversight and accountability. While I was waiting for the briefing with General Guillot, I learned that Secretary Noem was having a press conference a couple of doors down the hall. Since the beginning of the year, but especially over the course of recent weeks, several of my colleagues have been asking the Department of Homeland Security for more information and more answers on their increasingly extreme immigration enforcement actions. And we've gotten little to no information in response to our inquiries. And so I came to the press conference to hear what she had to say, to see if I could learn any new additional information. And at one point, I had a question. And let me emphasize, just as we've emphasized the right for people to peacefully protest and to stand up for their First Amendment rights, for our fundamental rights. I was there peacefully. At one point, I had a question. And so I began to ask a question. I was almost immediately forcibly removed from the room. I was forced to the ground, and I was handcuffed. I was not arrested. I was not detained. I will say this. If this is how this administration responds to a senator with a question, if this is how the Department of Homeland Security responds to a senator with a question, you can only imagine what they're doing to farm workers, to cooks, to day laborers out in the Los Angeles community and throughout California and throughout the country.
This dude is full of sugar honey iced tea, man. He is full of it. A whole lot of it. The performance. I mean, how many of you guys in the chat believe that he could have gone about this in a better way? Put a 1 in the chat for me if you believe that there was a better way for him to do this. If you truly had questions, put a 1 in the chat if y'all feel like there was a better way for him to go about doing this. This guy is ridiculous, man. He really is. He was detained for a whole 10 minutes, but he pretends like he was, locked up in the Birmingham jail. And you know what? I thought nobody's above the law, right? Nobody's above the law. But for whatever reason, we keep seeing these daggone Democrat politicians feel like they're better than the rest of us. Come on, man. They should be ashamed of themselves, man. Seriously.
Today to defend the principles at the core of our democratic republic. That we are a government of laws and institutions, not of individuals. That no billionaire has more rights than any worker. And that no president has more rights than any citizen of our country. That we are a government of 3 co-equal branches, providing checks and balances on each other. And bottom line, that no one is above the law.
Hey, their approach to this issue, it's not a good look. It's not going well. But you guys heard the man. He said that no one, and I repeat, no one is above the law. And the Democrats, they ate it all up. Senators, House members got all up, on the floor and whined about Padilla being thrown on the ground like he was some kind of martyr. One lawmaker actually said that seeing him on his knees with his hands behind his back was a violent act and an assault on all of us. Really, that's what she said. That's the standard right there. Meanwhile, these same Democrats didn't say a word when ICE agents, when police officers were being spit on, were being harassed, when they were having bricks and cinder blocks thrown at them, police cars being burnt up. You ain't heard a word from them condemning any of this behavior. They had nothing to say. Nothing to say when cities were being looted and torched. But the second one of their own gets treated like the rest of us, when he breaks the rules. Now, mind you, they didn't just, throw him out the daggone conference for nothing. No one knew who he was. He was dressed, as just a regular civilian. He stormed to the front, demanded to be heard. If you did that, you would be escorted up out of there and you would be thrown to the ground and arrested longer than 10 minutes, though. Longer than 10 minutes. But because it happened to one of them, now it's the end. It's the end of democracy. You can't make this stuff up, man. You cannot make this stuff up, man. These people have no respect for the law enforcement unless it benefits them politically. And they clearly don't believe that the rules apply to them. They clearly don't believe that the rules apply to them. Democrats have built their entire identity around chaos and victimhood. They don't want secure borders. They don't want law and order. The only thing that they care about is power. That's it. They only want power. And if they can grab, that power by turning criminals into victims and turning stunts into headlines, they'll do it in a heartbeat. They'll do whatever they feel like they need to do to obtain the power that they covet. And let's not forget, this isn't the first time Democrats have tried this. This isn't the first time that Democrats have tried this. We've seen elected officials outright assault ICE agents on camera and face no real consequences. We've seen judges help illegal immigrants evade arrests. And what happens? Nothing. They're held as heroes. But let a Republican enforce federal immigration law, and suddenly it's racism, fascism, cruelty. I mean, this double standard is just completely disgusting. And you know what the left wants you to believe? That they're the ones just speaking truth to power. that they're defending the immigrants, fighting for justice, standing up for the Constitution. But what they're really doing is undermining the rule of law, defending lawbreakers, and attacking the very institutions that are supposed to protect us. They want ICE dismantled. They want open borders. They want chaos because chaos makes people dependent upon the government. And that's where they get their power. Case in point, these Democrats, man, they don't care about the law. They don't even really care about the voters, but they know they need these people to support them, to vote for them. And honestly, I don't know why. I don't know why they haven't learned. They're losing. They're on the losing side of this issue. As a matter of fact, they're on the losing side of every 80-20 issue in the country right now. They're on the losing side of this issue. Take yesterday's sanctuary state hearings on Capitol Hill, for example. You had governors like Kathy Hochul from New York up there. I mean, it was a masterclass in incompetence. Your favorite governor, Tampon Timmy. I mean, goodness gracious. The amount of incompetence within the Democrat Party is just unfathomable, to say the least. Hochul didn't even know how many illegal migrants are in the state of New York. How do you go down there? How do you go down there for this conference? You know they're going to ask you some questions. And you're not prepared with the proper data. But the really, really big smackdown, it came from Elise Stefanik. Now, I covered it yesterday. Jim Jordan went crazy on Kathy Hochul. But Elise Stefanik, oh man. Elise Stefanik stunned her, with the crimes committed by illegals in New York that Hochul let happen. And Hochul, again, she didn't even know. Or at least she said she didn't know. But we also understand that more times than not, if a Democrat is talking, they are lying. More times than not, if a Democrat is talking, they are lying. More times than not. So when she comes out and says that, hey, I didn't know, I don't know if I believe her, to be honest with you. But I need you guys to watch this clip, man. Check this out right here. This is crazy.
Who Sakir Khan is, you should, as the governor of New York State. Do you know?
Refresh my recollection.
He was an illegal migrant in New York. And do you know what crime he committed in addition to being here illegally?
No, I do not.
You do not. This was widely reported. He found a 15-year-old girl, threatened her with a metal pole, told her to get into the back seat of his car. He took her clothes off, and he violently raped her in Albany, New York. Do you know who Sebastian Zapita Khalil is?
I'm sure you'll tell me there's many cases, whether they're
These are high-profile cases. Yes. New Yorkers know about them, and you don't. So let's talk about Sebastian Zapita Khalil. Do you know who that is?
I don't have the specific details at my disposal, no.
Well, this is an illegal migrant in New York because of your sanctuary state policies. Do you know what crime he committed?
I'm not familiar at this moment.
I bet you're going to be familiar when I remind you. He found a sleeping woman on the subway, lit her on fire, and burned her alive. This is in Kathy Hochul's New York. And as I'm sure you are aware, and I'll remind you, that ICE issued an order to detain this violent criminal, but that was rejected by New York officials due to sanctuary state laws. Now, do you know who Raymond Rojas Basilio is?
I just want to say this. These crimes are horrific.
Because of your sanctuary state policies.
In all of these cases, we would work with ICE to remove them.
You did not in this case. They are walking on the streets because of your policies and your executive order that you signed 3 times. Now,
Quincy James, you are a mess, bro. I wasn't gonna stop this in the middle of this, but dude, you are a mess. Quincy James, and I'm assuming you're talking about Hochul. He says she looks like a woman that has a closet full of coats made out of puppies. Just, oh my gosh, that's just evil. Oh my goodness, Quincy. Hey, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button for me, man. Shout out to Quincy. That's diabolical.
Now, Raymond Rojas Basilio, do you know who that is?
I'm telling you this. I will explain to you the policies of New York. We cooperate with, I know you're just trying to.
You do not. Specifically, ICE was told not to detain this individual, and he burned a woman alive on the New York subways in Kathy Hochul's New York. So I will keep on going.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Tom, you're absolutely right. People do not want to go to the city. The last time I went to New York, and it was about 2 years ago. The last time I went to New York, my wife and some friends, we went up there, we hung out, and my wife flat out told me, and she told me, she was like, I never want to come to this place ever again. Never. I am never coming up here again. I mean, it was the subway, the things that you see on the subway, no one should have to deal with that just trying to get to and fro. The things that you see, the amount of homeless people, the amount of people suffering from mental health issues that you see on the subway. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And this was in the middle of the day. This wasn't like late at night or something along those lines. No, this was in the middle of the day. Maybe, either late morning going into the afternoon time frame. We're on the subway, and the things that we witnessed, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I just couldn't believe it. And even for me, as someone that used to go up to New York all the time, I have zero interest in going. I have zero interest in visiting the city, man. I have zero interest.
What about Raymond Rojas Basilio? Do you know who that is?
I'm going to tell you our overall policy, which will address all this.
I'll tell you who that is. He is an illegal who molested an 11-year-old in our state because, again, of your sanctuary state
I'm sorry.
policies.
Let me rewind that.
This illegal is.
I'm going to tell you our overall policy, which will address all this.
I'll tell you who that is. He is an illegal who molested an 11-year-old in our state because, again, of your sanctuary state policies. This illegal was shielded from federal immigration enforcement and able to commit this heinous crime. And what about Wilson Castillo Diaz? Do you know who that is?
I'm telling you this. We do cooperate fully with ICE in criminal prosecution. Our sanctuary
You're not advocating for these victims.
Only deal
this
with
is a 5-year-old who was raped on Long Island in Nassau County. You are not advocating on behalf of these victims. You are shielding illegals. Even in your opening statement, you prioritize putting illegals first.
That is not
Rapes
true.
of young girls, beatings of NYPD cops by illegals who are here under Kathy Hochul's failed policies, burning New Yorkers alive. This is Kathy Hochul's New York. It's one of the many reasons why you're hemorrhaging support from hardworking New York
These are
families.
horrific crimes, and they're heartbreaking.
They're horrific crimes that are committed on your watch. You signed this executive order on your first day in office. You signed it again and again this January. We deserve a governor who stands up for law-abiding New Yorkers, doesn't put illegals first, but actually puts New Yorkers first. I appreciate
Rather than going after the viral moment, I suggest you look at the facts.
I'm standing up for New Yorkers. No. Rather than addressing the illegals in New York, you are...
How about you shut up and listen? How about that, Governor Hochul?
Prioritizing your far-left sanctuary state policies, which you put in place with executive orders. Instead of advocating for victims, a 5-year-old who was raped, you did not. They were released because of sanctuary state policies in New York State. No amount of words is going to clean up your failed record and these horrific crimes committed in sanctuary state that you created. And with that, I yield back.
Your representation, the facts are absolutely false.
Yields back.
Absolutely
Chair
false.
recognizes Ms. Norton.
New York definitely deserves better, man. They definitely deserve better. But when you look at what's going on in New York City right now, and I believe we're going to have to talk about that probably next week. We got to talk about the Muslim socialist mayoral candidate that's in New York that some kind of way has skyrocketed in the polls. I don't know how it happened. But we're going to have to talk about that next week. We're definitely going to have to do that. We're going to have to talk about that next week. I can't think of the name of the guy off the top of my head right now. But if this particular individual becomes the mayor of New York, oh my goodness, good night. Hey, it's not going to be a place that you can live. It's just not. It is going to become uninhabitable. It's probably already there, to be honest with you. And I'm talking about New York City, not the entire state of New York. But their policies are so bad up there in New York as a state, even upstate, although upstate New York and Western New York's a lot better than New York City. But I just don't see how anybody would on purpose decide, hey, I'm moving to New York. I just don't know why you would with everything that's going on. But shout out to Elise Stefanik. Shout out to her because this was a knockout punch. Hochul stumbling over names like Sebastian Zapata Khalil, Wilson Castillo Diaz, and Raymond Rojas Basillo. I mean, it just shows how out of touch she is with the crimes happening right under her nose. These aren't obscure cases. These were high-profile incidents that New Yorkers are living with. And Hochul's, I'm sure you'll tell. I'm sure you'll tell me attitude. I mean, it was beyond frustrating just to watch the negligence. And when Jim Jordan called her out, on the Tompkins County fiasco with Jesus Romero Hernandez, we covered that yesterday on the channel. Her dodging, it was just as pathetic. It was just as pathetic. And she signed executive orders allowing this to happen. Executive orders, meaning these policies did not go to state legislators. You know what I'm saying? For them to be voted on properly and properly codified in the law, because if you did that, she knows that it wouldn't have made it. It wouldn't have made it through. So she decided to sign an executive order to allow this type of chaos to happen in her state. That situation with Jim Jordan, man, I mean, it was just flat out pathetic. A guy with a federal deportation order walks free because local sanctuary policies. And she can't even admit that it was wrong. In my opinion, I don't know about you guys, but put a 1 in the chat if you agree with me. But in my opinion, that is not what you call leadership. That is what you call cowardice. That's what you call cowtelling to the globalist agenda, the globalist movement, and their democratic overlords. I mean, the hearing yesterday, oh my goodness, man, it just exposed the sanctuary policy disasters for exactly what it is, which is a free pass for criminals, while taxpayers foot a multi-billion-dollar bill, not a million, a multi-billion-dollar bill for shelter and services. And then Hochul at one point claimed that New York officials were cooperating with ICE on deportations, but really? Really? And if that is truly the case, then why did New York spend $6.8 billion in New York City alone on the migrant crisis if they've been coordinating with ICE? Wouldn't have that problem, if that was the case. But this is what I'm trying to get at, man. I mean, it's a performative charade, plain and simple. Democrats like Hochul, Waltz, or Padilla, they aren't interested in solving the problem. They're playing to their far left base, chasing votes, and pandering to the open borders crowd who think that sanctuary policies are some kind of moral flex. And then these same Democrats will turn around and claim that we're the extremists, we're the bigots, we're the racists, that we don't believe in democracy. And to be honest with you, I don't believe in democracy. We live in a constitutional republic. This is a representative government. So I don't believe in democracy, because if we actually lived in a democracy, New York and California would basically run the entire country. And we know how their policies are working out for their people and their constituents. So yeah, I don't personally believe in democracy. I'm not interested in it. I like the constitutional republic. I like the representative government that we have. I like it. They want to tell us that we are a threat to the system, but we're the ones really trying to uphold the system. That's all we're asking for. And meanwhile, they're out here trying to excuse violent protests, assaulting officers, and interfering with federal law enforcement operations. And at the end of the day, all this proves is one thing. It only proves that Democrats think that they are above the law. They think that ICE shouldn't be allowed to do its job. They think that illegal immigrants should be protected no matter what laws they break. And they think that they can get away with whatever that they want to get away with as long as they cry loud enough after the fact. But I want to hear from you guys in the chat. I want to hear what you guys think about this. I'm really sick and tired of these sanctuary cities, these sanctuary laws. I would like to see Congress. How many of you guys would like to see Congress? Somebody in Congress bring a bill to the House to be voted on to abolish every sanctuary city and state across the country. outlaw the idea of a sanctuary city for illegal immigrants. Outlaw the idea. If that has to go up to the Supreme Court, so be it. But how many of you guys want to see that? I know some of you guys also want to see term limits. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. But this sanctuary city nonsense, this sanctuary state nonsense, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous, and it's a slap in the face to every American out there. It's a complete slap in the face. But I want to hear from you guys in the chat. Let me know what you guys think about it, man. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick pop-up live stream today, this afternoon. I got a tea time that I got to go get to, but I do appreciate you guys pulling up, man. I definitely appreciate that, man. To all my fathers, happy Father's Day to you all. To all my moms out there, y'all make sure, all my wives out there, if your husband, if y'all have children, y'all make sure y'all take care of that, man. A lot of times, man, we don't ask for much. We're really simple in the grand scheme of things. We don't ask for much. I'm pretty simple. I'm very simple. You know what I'm saying? I don't ask for much. But the few days that we do have to be celebrated, man, we should be celebrated. Make sure you let your dad, let your grandfather know that they are greatly appreciated and loved by you. Please let that be known. Please let that be known. But I do appreciate you guys, man. Be safe. If you plan on going out over the weekend, man, please be safe out there. Let's make sure that we keep our law enforcement officers lifted up in prayer. Let's make sure we keep our National Guard, our service members lifted up in prayer. They are going to need it. And let's just make sure that we the people that go out there and protest, let's make sure that we keep them lifted up in prayer as well. Let's make sure we do that. All right. I appreciate you guys pulling up, man. I appreciate you guys rocking with me. I appreciate you guys supporting me. Shout out to all my ARP family members. Thank you guys so much for everything that you have done for me. I greatly appreciate it. I do not take it for granted. I really appreciate you guys. We need 2 more likes, I think, to hit the 300 mark or something along those lines. But if you haven't done so already, hit that like button for me. Please do so. Hey, we'll be back at this thing Monday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be on the lookout. We might do another pop-up live stream, not necessarily today, maybe tomorrow, depending on what's going on, in the world and across the country. We may need to jump out there and do some live streams and, just to discuss and just watch what's going on out there. Shout out to you, Carol Reyes. Thank you very much for pulling up. Shout out to RJ Hudson. Appreciate you pulling up. What's up, Kilobyte? Appreciate you pulling up this afternoon. Thank you very much. What's up, Rochelle W859? Appreciate you pulling up today as well. Delinda House, thank you very much. Appreciate you pulling up. Sherman Ice, thank you for pulling up too as well. Thank you very much. Cheryl One, thank you very much. Enjoy the weekend. AR 715, bless up, man. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you, Brett Montgomery, for pulling up, man. I know it was short notice, but I definitely appreciate you pulling up and keeping things peaceful in the chat. Shout out to UC Bergie. I saw you. Appreciate you pulling up as well. Diana Baby Garcia, thank you very much. Appreciate you pulling up, man. Let's make sure that we keep our folks lifted up in prayer, man. Reason Mahmood, peace and blessings to you as well, man. Have a good weekend. Happy Father's Day to you, man. Keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.
Vibes so raw, can't hide the truth. Words so sharp.